Now, channelstv.com has more information for you, and on youtube.com/channelsweb, you can watch our videos. You can also watch us on your mobile device via your browser or download the Channels TV app for Android and iOS devices from their respective stores. Besides giving you access to news updates on the go, the Channels TV and Channels 24 app have an eyewitness feature that you can use to share pictures, videos, or news of happenings around you. Just install the app, then tap and swipe to reveal the menu, and then follow the instructions. The federal government is to engage the Saudi authorities over the killing of Nigerians, allegedly for drug offenses in the kingdom. This is the new position being taken, according to the chairman, National Diaspora Commission, Abike Dabiri-Erewa, when she spoke to State House correspondents in Abuja. Mrs. Dabiri-Erewa noted that the most recent execution of a Nigerian lady brings to 8 the number of citizens killed by the Saudi government in recent years, while putting the number of Nigerians on trial for similar offenses at over 20. She's worried by the nature of the trials, wondering if they're fair.
The news of the execution of a Nigerian in Saudi Arabia for drug-related offenses is pathetic, tragic, and sad. We know that drug issues in Saudi attract the death penalty. That will be the 8th Nigerian to be executed for drugs in Saudi in the last few years, and we have about 24 on death row for drugs in Saudi, and we have about 12 that have been sentenced to various jail terms. Now, the issue with the drugs in Saudi is this. There are cases of syndicates who work with airlines to actually put these drugs in also in the bags of unsuspecting pilgrims. So we've had cases where truly they didn't commit the offense. So we appeal to Saudi to make the trials fair, open, and ensure that justice is done. Even if you are going to die, you know that you died for an offense you committed. So while we appeal to Nigerians, especially going to Saudi Arabia, it's tough. Obey the laws of the land. Even kola nut is treated as a drug. So we continue to appeal to the Saudi authorities to treat some of the cases with some form of leniency. On the second case of the Nigerians who raided a bureau to change in Dubai, these 5 Nigerians who allegedly committed this offense are a disgrace to this country and is an embarrassment. So if UAE decides to be hard on Nigerians, we're going to say they're being hard on us. But we continue to say that one bad apple should not spoil the whole bunch.
As promised, we can now go to Port Harcourt, the River State capital, where our political correspondent, Seun Okinbaloye, is standing by for an update on the collation of results from River State. Seun, what is the situation right now?
Thank you so much, Ladi, and welcome to Port Harcourt, the River State capital, where, of course, we are monitoring the beginning to the end of the River State election, both on the National Assembly and the governorship election. Some of the details that we have now is that the exercise in the National Assembly election is just about ending, because the senatorial election results are fully turned in. The House of Representatives, about almost all of them are fully turned in. INEC will give details of all of the figures and the winners of the election. The INEC office is just a few meters away from here in the government reservation area, GRA, in Port Harcourt. It's being a place that is being heavily secured by security operatives. So it gives you a sense of how intense the exercise has been in terms of security. It's about a stretch of about a half a kilometer of stretch of road, which has been, there's been a blockade on that road because of the attention on the INEC head office there. Don't forget some of the incidents that we have seen over the past few weeks is being the situation that had stalled this election, where it led to the suspension of the exercise. But so far, the governorship election result has been the collation which started, will continue tomorrow. 15 of the local government results were turned in today. INEC says they will resume tomorrow at about 9 a.m. We will get more results, but it's not clear whether or not a winner will be declared tomorrow, considering that, Ladi, about 2 local government or so elections did not happen at all. Those are some of the information that we have. Whether or not the result that are on hand are enough to determine a winner in the governorship election is another kettle of fish altogether. But for sure, the State House of Assembly election is another issue on hand, because in some of those local government areas where election did not hold, how will INEC be able to determine who emerges winner in some of these seats in these local government areas? These are some of the issues on the table. We will find out tomorrow when the collation resumes at about 9 a.m. at the INEC headquarters. We'll be back there tomorrow morning. It's back to you, Ladi.
Thank you very much, Sheon, our political correspondent, Sheon Okimbaloye, on the latest, very latest from Port Harcourt, the River State capital, about the collation of results from the governorship elections there. And from there, we move to Abuja, where Linda Kibe is standing by for more news. How are you doing, Linda?
Hello, Ladi. I'm doing very well. Now we begin with the National Assembly. The Senate is giving its standing committees a deadline of Friday, April 5th to submit their budget report to the Appropriation Committee. The new deadline comes after the Committee on Appropriation failed to lay the budget report on Tuesday, April 2nd. At Tuesday's plenary session, the Vice Chairman of the Appropriation Committee, Senator Sonny Uboji, told the Senate that less than 10 committees have so far submitted their reports. He requested an additional 2 weeks to allow the other committees yet to submit their reports to do so. But Senate President Bukola Saraki insisted that the Appropriation Committee must submit the final budget report between April 9 and 11th.
We must make sure they submit by the Friday. So let us agree that they will submit by Friday. We will suspend plenary just for a week till the 9th, because they submit Friday. By Tuesday, the 9th, we should be able to reconvene here. And during that week, latest during that week, you should be able to lay a report latest by Thursday of that week. But we should be back here on the 9th to reconvene and hopefully lay the report that week of the 9, 10, and 11, and latest pass this budget by the 16th. I think this is because we have the Easter break coming as well. We don't have that luxury of time. Any committee that does not bring its report by Friday, that then we empower the committee to go with the executive submission. All right, so we've all agreed that we'll suspend plenary for another week. We'll reconvene on the 9th or that, and between the 9th and the 11th, the appropriation must lay their report, and we look to passing by the 16th of April. Yeah. All right.
Meanwhile, President Muhammadu Buhari is declining assent to 8 bills passed by the National Assembly. President Buhari communicated his decision in letters written to the Senate and read on the floor by the Senate President Bukola Saraki. The bills rejected are the Ajaokuta Steel Company Completion Fund, Nigerian Aeronautical Search and Rescue, Chartered Institute of Training and Development of Nigeria, and the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria. Others are the National Housing Fund Bill, Small and Medium Enterprise Development Bill, National Institute of Credit Administration Bill, and Chartered Institute of Training and Development of Nigeria Establishment Bill. Now staying with Parliament, the Minister of Budget and Planning, Udo Udoma, has revealed that the figure of the 2019 budget will increase due to the inclusion of a new minimum wage and pension. Mr. Udoma dropped this hint during an interactive session with a joint committee of the House of Representatives to review the 2019 to 2021 medium-term expenditure framework and fiscal strategy paper. Our correspondent Larry Lasisi has this report.
As committees of the National Assembly work to conclude scrutiny of the 2019 budget in readiness for its passage, the 2019 to 2021 medium-term expenditure framework and fiscal strategy paper is still under consideration.
But meanwhile,
a joint committee of the House of Representatives are here to meet with the Minister of Budget and Planning, the Minister of Finance, and heads of revenue-generating agencies of government. The focus is the MTEF document, which is the basis of the 2019 budget and two subsequent budgets. The Minister of Budget and Planning gives a summary of the 2018 budget performance.
As at the end of the year, federal government's actual aggregate revenue was 3.96 trillion naira, which is 55% of the budget. So we're a bit disappointed by this. That's why the Ministry of Finance and ourselves were working very hard to increase revenues.
He then speaks on the 2019 budget.
Because of a number of things which had not been anticipated, principally the minimum wage, a sort of the minimum wage and some pension, so the size of the ultimate size of the budget was slightly larger than what that in the MTEF. Apart from that, everything else in the MTEF was kept to, except that.
His team explains the innovative means that will be implemented to increase government's revenue so as to achieve the objectives of the budget. According to the minister, the Economic Recovery and Growth Plan, which underpins government's actions, is yielding fruit.
It is clear that things are getting better. What we need to do is intensify the implementation, particularly in the areas I spoke about, areas of revenue.
Lawmakers sought clarification on some aspects of the documents and raised some issues which were then addressed by the minister.
That whilst the trajectory is positive, we are not where we want to be. And somebody asked a question about feeling the impact. When you're growing at 2% and your population is growing at almost 3%, it's difficult to feel the impact, which is why it is important that we must be growing at 5, 6, 7%. We must be. So we're only at the beginning of our transformation. We have a long way to go. We need to continue along these lines. We're encouraged by the results, which shows that it's positive. But it takes a lot of effort, and the 2019 budget is one of those efforts.
The lawmakers are expected to consider the positions put forward here and come up with a document that will be presented to the House in plenary for approval. Lanre Lasisi, Channels Television News.